Hey, welcome back. So today we're talking about film emulsion. It's a new DCTL recently released by PixelTools, and it's their jab at film emulation, which has been super popular recently, especially with tools like Colin Kelly's Genesis and Dehancer all floating around the market at the moment. This one has a few unique perks of its own, including just being something really simple and effective to use when you're after some quick film emulation looks. So let's dive in. So there's two different versions of this DCTL at two different price points. There's the basic version and the pro version. So in the basic version, you get 4 negative stocks and 1 print stock with a film process Powergrade, but the pro version gives you 16 negative stocks and 3 print stocks with the film process Powergrade. You also get free upgrades when they release their grain and halation tools. It's a lifetime license and you get free updates for life. Today we're going to be looking at the pro version, which Jason has very kindly sent over. So I've got some shots here from a recent horror film that we've actually still got in the works that'll be coming out soon. But just to give you an idea of the project setup, so we're working on a group level. So in our pre-clip, we've just got Blackmagic to DaVinci Wide Gamut, and in our post-clip, I'm using JP's 2499 DRT, which is a free DCTL. There'll be a link in the description to grab that if you want. So I'm going to search for the DCTLs, DCTL effect, drop that on, and in here we'll go to film emulsion. Now we'll have 4 here, so 3 for the negative stocks and 1 for the print stock. The negatives are split into Fuji, Kodak, and mixed prints. So we'll take a look through all of these. Let's start with our negative Fuji prints. I'm just going to hit Shift F to give you a full view here. And these have all been authentically profiled by the team at PixelTools. So they're super accurate to the real life stocks. Some really nice Fuji stocks there. But also with all of these negative stocks, you get just individual controls to fine tweak how they affect your image. So that first one is just the intensity of the stock. We can change its exposure, its color temperature, its tint, contrast. These aren't meant to replace your color grading primary tools in your shot-to-shot level grading. This is just fine tweaking your negative print. So let's have a look at the negative Kodak prints. Again, same set of tools. We just get quite a few of the Kodak Vision 3, Vision 2, and Vision film stocks, which is really nice because these are quite popular among the grading community. But if we just filter through these, we've got a whole wide range of looks, different contrasts, different black points, different split toning effects in our shadows and our highlights. In the mixed pack, we have 4 extra ones. We have a Kodak Ektachrome, really pushed high contrast green look. Dig that. The Kodak XX5222, which is a black and white negative stock. We have the Agfa Vista 200 and Kodak Aero Color. So some quite vintage looks going on there with really interesting color palettes. So once again, if you really like what something's doing, but you find that it's a little bit too much, we always get the control to just bring back the intensity of that stock. If we switch over to the film emulsion print, we get 3 options here. Kodak 2383, which I would say is one of the most popular film stocks going at the moment, along with Fuji 3510, but there's also Kodak 2393, which I feel is much less popular, but still a really nice look. If we kind of cycle between the 2 Kodak prints, looks a little more gentle, and the Fuji 3510 giving us a bit more of that greener, punchier vibe. So as this is meant to emulate processing real film, there's also a provided power grade. So if we drag that onto that node here, we get this film emulation power grade. So straight out of the gate, it's looking pretty insane, and that's because we've already set up our input and output CSTs. So we won't be needing our input CST and our output CST. So now we're just getting a clean film emulation. And if we have a quick look through these, like we were talking about before, we have the negative at the start and the print towards the end. After our negative, we're bringing in some halation, and that's just using Resolve's built-in film look creator. So you can customize that to your liking. After that, we have roll-off, which is a simple tone curve in our custom curves here to emulate those nice highlights you see in film. You can see exactly what that's doing. Again, you can control this using the key output gain in the key tab. The sharpen is using a mix of a small amount of mid-tone detail and some sharpening in our blur panel here. That's just giving us a bit of the sharpness in our image back. Then we have a compound node for grain. So if we double click into this compound node, we have a bit of film blur going on at the start and 2 grain nodes, one for 1080 footage and one for 4K footage. just using Resolve's built-in film grain effect. Just a nice way to be able to jump in, quickly turn on some nice grain. If we jump back out, we have a bit of gate weave created with the built-in Resolve camera shake tool. So if we play that back, you can see we're getting a little bit of shake there just to emulate the subtle shake you get when shooting on real film. And again, you can adjust these settings to your liking. It's just a good head start to have that built into the node tree. Then we get to our print, and our final one here is labeled as deep shadows, which is handy because I found some of the prints have quite a raised black point, especially when pairing them together with a negative stock. So this is simply using the log wheels to drop down the shadows just to bring those shadows a little deeper and bring some of that contrast back. Again, you can turn that off and on to your liking and adjust the strength with the key output. So really handy having that as a preset power grade. You can just drop on for some really quick film emulation straight out of the gate. Quite a bit more detailed than Resolve's just built-in film look creator. Now I already have a bit of a node tree set up for look development, so I don't find the power grade too useful, but I can see it coming in really handy if you ever need some real quick film emulation that's just a bit more polished and customizable than something like Resolve's film look creator. Just before I get to those next couple of DCTLs, I wanted to give a quick shout out to MotionVFX. They're responsible for all the assets and the graphics that you're seeing in all of my YouTube videos at the moment. They're actually having a huge 30% off store-wide sale at the moment with the code FINAL. You can use that for Final Cut Pro, DaVinci Resolve, and Premiere assets and plugins that they have on their website. There's also currently extra weekly flash sales where every Monday they'll reveal 5 new products up to 50% off. And there's also 15% off all their subscription plans. So a huge sale. Make sure to check out the website for those ones, and I'll leave a link down in the description. As you can probably guess, it is an affiliate link, which just means buying anything through that link helps support the channel and helps me make more videos like this. So would really appreciate it. But back to the DCTLs. So jumping back to a shot like this, if I was grading it in a real world scenario, I would actually start with picking a film print I like because there's less options and it gives me a good head start for the kind of look I'm going for. So if we jump into our print node here, we've got 2383, 2393, and Fuji 3510. Because we're aiming for a bit of a David Fincher look here, I think 3510 is really going to hit the nail on the head for those yellows and greens and kind of cooling down the image a little bit and getting it just down in that quadrant. But I will increase the contrast just a tad because I feel like that black point was really quite high. Somewhere there is quite nice. Maybe even just bringing back the intensity a little bit as well. That's looking really nice. So now if we hop back over to our negative stock, let's say we go with a Kodak vibe for this one. I'm just going to cycle through these film prints till we find something we like. That's looking quite nice. 320T 5277. That's just giving us a little bit of extra density and depth. Again, I might just pull back the intensity because we don't need too much of that. Might pull down the temperature a little bit and the tint as well to really go all in on that Fincher green vibe. And that's looking really nice there. So if we hop out and we trial both off and on, you can see just how quick and easy it is to get something really aesthetically pleasing and just going straight for a mood out of the gate. So you can see how easy it is to create a really pushed look like that. It's nice to just be able to use a bit of trial and error and bounce between your negative and your print stocks and find something that you really like and that fits the look that you're going for. Now comparing it to something like Dehancer just wouldn't make much sense as it's not really trying to compete with that. It's more focused just having a select number of really high quality and authentic film stock emulations for negative stocks and film prints that let you create really nice film emulation looks really quickly to give you a really solid head start in your look development process. So a big thank you to Jason from PixelTools for sending these out. I've had a lot of fun playing around with it and it'll definitely be earning a permanent place in my look development process. If you like the look of this short horror film as well, make sure to subscribe so you get notified when that one drops. I know we've just missed the Halloween mark, but it's definitely something worth checking out. So stay tuned, and until then, have a good one, happy grading, and I'll catch you in the next one.